you have innocent kids, innocent people dying, and it seems like once, twice a week. But he's worried about not, getting people upset. He's worried about, making sure that he can, run for a second term and actually get some voters. Like, once again, people are too concerned for themselves. I want a president who's going to sit in that seat and be like, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. And if I don't get reelected for a second term, so be it. In this video that we're going to watch first, I want to ask an honest question, because it feels like growing up, it always felt like the president's seat, the president's office, the role in a position of the president is supposed to be impactful. It's supposed to be that person who is sitting in that chair is going to either direct America in a positive or in a negative way, because what he represents, or she or that person represents, is supposed to, at the end of the day, be his final word. You know what I'm saying? I know it's different chambers of government. I know that there's different fractions to kind of keep the checks and balances. I understand that. But at the end of the day, people, especially outside of America, that bully pulpit, what they call it, is supposed to do something. If a president can't flex his power, his agenda in any sort, it feels like then there is no need for a president if he's just there to look pretty. Well, I mean, I guess not look pretty, because they all, old as hell and just look horrible. But I guess just to sit there, just to have a face of America, I guess you could say. But then it confuses me. It's like, well, why are we voting for these guys? If Joe Biden can't accomplish any of the promises or the list of his agenda, then why are we wasting our voting power, our voting potential on someone who can't do anything? He's just going to sit there and just be like, well, Jack, I just can't do nothing for you, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Like, then what good is he? So let's go ahead and watch this video, and let's hear on what excuse Joe Biden decides to give us when it comes to gun violence. Let's have that conversation.
Well, donkey today for Thursday, March 30th goes to President Joe Biden, as well as the Republicans in Congress, who have said in regards to gun violence, they have done all that they are willing to do. If you haven't heard, there was a mass shooting this week at a Christian elementary school in Nashville that basically a lot of folks in Washington are just shrugging their shoulders at, okay? I told you earlier this week that when you hear politicians say, this is not who we are as a country, scream out, you lie, like a horse on the side of the road, or whatever the hell Jamaicans be saying, okay, when somebody's lying. Mass shootings are the American way, all right? It's part of our culture, all right? Guns are a part of our culture. Violence is our culture, and all these old white men in Washington have accepted it, all right? This is Republican Tim Burkett of Tennessee. He was on the steps of the Capitol just hours after the shooting that killed 3 children and 3 adults in his home state, and this is what he said.
3 precious little kids lost their lives, and I believe 3 adults, I believe this. And the shooter, of course, lost their life too. So it's a horrible, horrible situation. And we're not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals. And my daddy fought in the Second World War, fought in the Pacific, fought the Japanese, and he told me, he said, buddy, he said, if somebody wants to take you out and doesn't mind losing their life, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it.
We're not.
Well, whoa. Hold on. Okay. Whoever is his dad, whoever is giving him this kind of information, does not need to be in a position to try to craft any laws or legislation or be a protector of their constituents. Whoever voted him in whatever seat of Congress that guy sits in, he does not need to be there. If a person who's supposed to be my leader is saying, well, if somebody wants to just take your life, then like, I guess we just gonna have to let that happen. I'm sure he hasn't exhausted every single possibility there is to prevent that from happening. Oh, that's why. My question is, why do people vote in people like this? I'm pretty sure there's 1,000,001 ways we can at least attempt. But he's already throwing in the towel. Well, if somebody wants to just take life, then like they just gonna take it. Well, okay, that's true. But if somebody wants to take dozens of lives, hundreds of lives, I think I'd rather take my chances with them having a knife, a samurai sword, ninja stars, I don't know, maybe even a pistol. But if they want to accomplish mass murder, which that's what the topic is, mass shootings, they're going to try to obtain the biggest weapon they can find that can kill as many people as quick as possible. That's the goal of a mass shooter. So maybe we can try to prevent them from getting these weapons so they can't maintain or try to accomplish their goal. That's the whole point. But he's talking about something totally nonsense, and it's like, you obviously do not need to be in a position that you're in, because you're just a waste of time, essentially.
Not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals. Yes, criminals are going to be criminals, but you make it easier for them to commit the kind of carnage they commit when you don't do things like pass common sense gun reform, okay? Legislation that can expand Brady background checks and ban assault weapons. Where the hell do these people's kids go to school that they are not terrified like the rest of us? Because I want my kids to go there too. And it's not just about the kids. It could be you. All right, what if somebody just rolled up to the steps of the Capitol while you was talking, Tim Burkett, and just opened fire with an AR-15? I bet you, if you lived to talk about it, you would want them to pass common sense gun reform immediately. You know, people don't care about anything until it impacts them. All right, and then President Biden said this week that
now Charlamagne is making a very good point, because and it's kind of sad, like with America supposedly being the greatest country on earth, it's a lot of selfishness. And when I say selfishness, I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about people's greed. I'm talking about people don't care about others' well-being until it happens to them. Until one of their kids is taken out in one of these mass shootings. The whole crack epidemic. People didn't care until the whole fentanyl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole different story when it's in your neighborhood. But if it's in black and brown people's neighborhood, it is like, just send them to jail. Just give them more policing and send them to jail, because they're obviously they don't love their freedom of being outside of prison. So just send them to jail and more policing. But when the whole fentanyl goes into these white neighborhoods, now we need intervention. Now we need to try to inject some money and some counseling into these neighborhoods, because now it's getting closer to their doorsteps. Now it's affecting their children. And I guarantee you, if one of these people sitting in one of these offices, in one of these positions of power, as soon as it starts to creep up on their doorsteps, I guarantee you something's going to happen. Some change is going to happen.
There's nothing else he can do without Congress. Let's listen.
I have gone the full extent of my executive authority to do on my own anything about guns. But Congress has to act. The majority of the American people think having assault weapons is bizarre. It's a crazy idea. We're against that. And so I think that Congress should be passing an assault weapons. So I can't do anything except plead with the Congress to act reasonably.
President Biden, that was unbelievably honest and pathetic. Okay,
hold on, Charlamagne. I got this. Okay, Like I said at the beginning of this segment here, why is Joe Biden in the position that he's in? Now, once again, I understand that there's checks and balances. I understand we're not giving whoever's sitting in the presidency all the power because obviously we don't want a dictatorship. I get that. But if the president of the United States of America is saying, well, there's nothing I can do, even though he is conceding that 80-90% of Americans don't feel that it's needed for people to have assault rifles. The information, the data, the analytics is all there. The data is there. And he knows this. What is stopping the progression? What is stopping this from coming to pass? And that's what Joe Biden needs to talk about. If it's a certain a particular person, call them out. If it's other people on the Republican side, and I know he wants to be the bridge between, Republicans and Democrats. He wants to, play the mediator and kind of, reach across the aisle, which to me is kind of stupid, but I get that. But if you know that it's an issue and you believe it's an issue, maybe he doesn't even believe what he's saying. He's just saying it just to say it. And you actually want to enact some change, which once again, maybe he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? At this point, me just saying anything else after that doesn't matter, because if he doesn't care, then nothing else matters. But if he truly feels that something needs to be done, he needs to make it happen by any means necessary. Don't worry about a second term. That's what a lot of these people worry about. It's like, oh man, I got to make sure, I don't anger some of my my voters, because, I'm pretty sure he grabbed some from the Republican Party. Maybe he doesn't want to upset people. Maybe he doesn't want to give, ammunition and the ads that some of these people are going to put, Joe Biden is going after your guns. He needs to not worry about that. You have innocent kids, innocent people dying, and it seems like once, twice a week. But he's worried about not, getting people upset. He's worried about, making sure that he can, run for a second term and actually get some voters. Like, once again, people are too concerned for themselves. I want a president who's going to sit in that seat and be like, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. And if I don't get reelected for a second term, so be it. But I stepped into this position to make some things happen, and that's what I'm going to do. But no, too many people worried about their paychecks. That's it. Come on, Joe Biden. That's all you care about.
It's absolutely pathetic for a sitting president to just concede and say I'm powerless without Congress. Is he right? Yes. But how about call out the senators by name who won't pass common sense gun reform?
Of course.
Because they are in the pockets of gun lobbyists. Call them out. Let people know the senators who have benefited the most from NRA money. Let people know whose political campaigns have benefited from NRA dollars. Let people see the correlation between senators who oppose gun safety legislation and whose political campaigns have also benefited from NRA money. All right, there's literally a website you can go to that shows you which senators have benefited the most from NRA money, okay? Mitt Romney, Richard Burr, Roy Blunt, Tom Tills, Marco Rubio. It's like 48 of them guys, but you can go to this site and it shows how much the NRA spent on their campaigns and how many gun deaths have happened in their states, okay? I would much rather see President Biden calling them out instead of just throwing his hands up and saying, all I can do is beg them to do something. I have to plead to them to do something. It's nothing I can do without them. Of course you can't do anything without them, but at least call them out by name.
At the
Bill
least.
Cassidy, Tom Cotton, Pat Toomey, Ted Cruz, Steve Daines all received money from the NRA for their campaigns. To not call them out after another mass shooting, and not just another mass shooting of kids, is gutless. All right.
Okay, now, and Charlamagne brings up another good point. I don't understand, and maybe to me this is the elephant in the room. This is like the most obvious thing that anyone on the outside looking in, and this is not complicated, this is not something that you need to go to school for, you need to read a couple books, like just seeing it from the outside. Anytime you have money that plays a role in anybody's opinions, anybody's position of power, anybody's judgment is going to be tainted for the good or bad. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to pay someone who has ill intentions to do good things if you pay them enough. I'm sure. But also on the flip side, you can pay people, for example, the NRA, they even have a grade system on how much they pay in their ratings when it comes to them supporting the guns, the NRA. Why do we not see that is problematic on its own? If somebody is paying me $500,000 a year to oppose gun control laws, to try to put the blame on something else, or, just ignore the whole thing overall, what incentives do I have to do? What incentives do I have when it comes to creating gun control bills or trying to create some, solutions that has to do with putting restrictions on certain guns? I don't have any. I'm getting paid $500,000. I don't care. I am not going to care. I'm getting paid. Why would I care? My kids are in a super pimp type public private school, maybe even homeschooled. I got maids. You know what I'm saying? I live in a super duper gated community. I'm not worried about nothing. I got Secret Service. I got my own private security. Why do I care? I could just turn off the news. I can watch ESPN all day and not give a damn on what's going on out there. But once again, everybody want to talk about this, that, which I'm pretty sure is important. But the more simple question is, why are we allowing money into, these lobbyists, into the pockets of these people who are in a position of power? Can we solve that first? And I guarantee you everything else will sort of slowly fix itself.
CNN reported that mass shootings have gone up every year since 2013. In 2013, it was 256. In 2022, it was 646. And guess what? In 2023, the Gun Violence Archive has counted 130 mass shootings, okay? But all our elected officials, including our president, can do is nothing, all right? At the least, get angry, like Congressman Jamal Bowman was yesterday. Let's listen.
Freaking cowards. They're gutless. They're not here. I'm talking about gun violence.
School that allows teachers to carry.
Carry guns? You think more guns lead to more death? Look at the data. You're carrying the water for the gun lobby. 9-year-old children. The solution is not arming teachers. Have you ever worked in a school? Have you ever worked in a school? Have you ever worked in a school?
Answer the question.
I worked in the school for 20 years. I was a teen. I was screaming before you came and interrupted me.
Wow. His solution is to give more. To give more guns is your solution. The one thing that Republicans love to counteract with, especially when it comes to gun violence, is mental health, which is a problem. But what makes you think giving a gun to a teacher that has to deal with kids that are not theirs? Yes, I know there's teachers that love the kids and will do what they need to do to protect the kids. I get that. But how many of these teachers are stressed, underpaid, have their own anxieties, and now you want to add into the mix a gun? How many stories have we seen of teachers being irresponsible with kids alone, without a gun? Just the other day, it was a teacher that just body slammed a student. It's like, and you wanna strap teachers with guns, but then let's send security to these schools. Let's get them pimp type. What happened in Uvalde? There was like 40, 50 of them suckers outside the school. None of them had the balls, had the courage to run in. But your solution is to give guns. Oh, because the NRA is getting paid, right? You're getting paid by the NRA. And what's good business for them? Buying more guns. Even though there's like over 400 million guns kind of floating in America already, let's just get more guns to try to solve the gun problem. Oh my gosh. These people are killing me. We need common sense in these positions of power. We can't allow these people to continue to get paid and do nothing. At the least Joe Biden can do is put these people on blast. He got the money, he got the position, he got the power. That's his job. And like Charlamagne said, like at least pretend to be upset. Call these people out and say this person, and this person are the ones that's stopping change that you want. Now, American people, you guys are the voters. You know what to do. Get these people out of office, and then we can make some change happen. Say something like that, but don't be like, it's nothing I can do. I just gotta, beg and plead with them. Bro, get out of here.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join the conversation by subscribing. Make sure to tune in next time, and like always, power to you, power to me, power to the people, power to the pod.